All right, so if you turn off the gizmo, it turns into the handle tool, which is this guy. If you just kind of drag it out, you'll see you got 3 dots. It's simple, but it's complex to use. Depending on move, scale, or rotate, whichever one of those is selected, this handle does completely different things. Okay, so the gizmo was meant to kind of unify the major reasons why you would be using move, scale, and rotate. So anyway, with move on, you can draw out your handle kind of wherever you need to. And you notice that it kind of sticks to the surface of whatever model you're on, okay? If you don't really want it to stick and you want it to just kind of go perpendicular or parallel to the camera, hold down Shift and you'll see that it is perfectly straight, which normally is what I will use it for. So move is the middle circle, click and drag. And then over here on the circle to the right with the XYZ buttons, if you click and drag, it actually is kind of like a trim tool. It kind of lets you trim a little bit, but you'll notice that like when you turn it just a little bit, you'll see that it's kind of basically shoving all the geometry out one end. So this is something that I used before ballooning to get a lot of trimming done that was generally pretty easy to use. Over on the other side is the moving. It's more of a scale tool. It kind of stretches. So that's kind of nice. You can use that to kind of stretch around. And if you click and drag on the bar in between, it just lets you move the pivot point however you need to. Then you can click the little X, Y, and Z buttons, and that'll snap the bar over 2 different spots. Okay, so that's move. If you switch it to scale, if you click and drag, now notice that it's not in the center of the model. It's kind of off to one side a little bit. If you use the center circle, you can scale in this way. If you do one side, it'll scale in to the other side as a pivot point. But that's a uniform scale. And then if you do it, it'll do the same thing, but to the other side as a pivot point. Or maybe an anchor point, I guess I should say is a better term. Rotate. You can rotate, think of this as like a bar that goes through the model. It will rotate the model based on that bar. So like that's a pivot, okay? And then same thing again, it'll pivot it from one anchor point to the next anchor point. So for the most part, the Gizmo tool will do everything you want with the handles.
I swear sometimes I saw people, I'm sorry to interrupt. I swear I saw people like bend the model with the other tool. Does it not do that, or am I just
It's not made to bend, but like if you mask off, so for example, hold down Control, you'll see that I can kind of mask off depending on how I pull the handle out. And then like I can kind of use this to bend by using that as a rotation. But that's nothing I can't do with the Gizmo tool. I can do the same thing.
Okay, okay.
Sometimes, so the Gizmo tool came out about 4 or 5 years ago, and it honestly, for me, it took me about a year or maybe a year and a half to actually start using the Gizmo tool more, just because I was so used to using the handle for years, for like 7 or 8 years at that point. So I think some people you may be watching, you know, they use the handle tool, maybe they're just more familiar with it or they just like it more. But I think the Gizmo overall is, for most people, probably just easier to use. Now, for bending, what I would say So say if we just take like this, I'm just gonna make it a little bit longer, you really wanna look at using the deformers, okay? I think they're calling these transforms, but I call them deformers. So, you know, we have like the bend arc, bend curve. Those are two we've used plenty of times. Bend arc, we can use to bend a model, or we can curve it.
And where was that? I'm sorry.
That's the gear.
Oh, on the actual Gizmo?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you just turn the gizmo on, this little gear right here.
Okay, so okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
And that's really, honestly, the best way to do some of these uniform deformations, because it really is just way easier to use than some of the other stuff.
I got a question in regards to like the hard surface. You said like try to like split the sides of the handle, and like
Yeah.
I tried that
Where the
earlier.
wood is.
Huh?
Where the wood is.
Yeah. I'm wondering I've been attempting to do it, but I'm wondering like I don't think I'm doing it right. Because
So
like
your handle is really low poly. Honestly, it may make more sense to just go ahead and make the wood panels that go on the side of the handle, rather than doing, you know, trying to split it off, because you don't have a whole lot of faces on that model anyways.
okay. I spelled off wrong. I said a whole nother word.
All right, I got a few of you guys in here already. Let's go ahead and